I think you guys had just put out the EP
Yeah.
and you were beginning to promote that. And I guess the album, I don't know if you had begun working on that or if that was still sort of in the background.
The new album?
Yeah, because I
That was probably in the background. We weren't really focused on that right away.
right, right. Well, I yeah, no, because I remember we spoke about the band a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to find yeah, and then Haunted Symphony, that was the big. So on June 5th, that's when we last spoke. So I
Wow.
mean, it seems like it's all right. George is
Trying to get in.
trying to get in. All right, there we go.
I don't see him, but I see you.
His audio is connecting.
Ah.
Okay, George, you with us?
I just got on.
Okay, awesome. We were just reminiscing. The last time we spoke was June of last year. It was
Hmm.
June 5th, and you guys were talking about Haunted Symphony. So it's amazing how I guess how things have changed, but they've also stayed the same. But you guys have a new album that's out. That's been out for a little while now, right?
Couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
couple
listening. I
weeks.
was refamiliarizing myself with your sound because it's. I don't want to say it's unique because there are other bands that have sort of a symphonic metal sound to them, but I can't think of as many contemporary bands that are really sort of on the cutting edge of what you guys are doing.
Well, you can say we're unique. That would be awesome.
Sure. Well, it was interesting because I was trying to think for people if I was going to describe the music who I could compare it to. And
Um, yeah, I know that's kind of tough, and that's kind of what I want it to be.
yeah, well, it's got a really theatrical and operatic feel to it,
All right.
which I think is what makes it, in my opinion, um, that's what makes it unique. Because there are other bands I think you could say, well, Savatage is in there, or I always think of "Hallowed Be Thy Name" by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, we get Sabotage a lot. I think that's just because of the piano. I don't really
Yeah.
hear it too much after that, but yeah, trying to do our own thing, man. We're just trying to create metal that's listenable to people and it's just not over anybody's head. Again, I think I've told you this the last time, and I know I've said it a million times before. We're just trying to keep the metal um, tasteful.
Well, it is really accessible to everyone. I think that's one of the things, people sometimes hear metal and they tend to shy away if they're not.
Yeah, and that's a good analogy what you just said there. So yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do because even though you hear the progression from the first album to the second album here, we did add more things and we did play a little bit more um, with more I don't know, musical ability. That was done on purpose because I think we kept it a little bit too simple the first time around. So we just wanted to add a little bit of flair.
Well, I mean, it's certainly there. I mean, I think you can certainly see the through line of the music from the EP to the full length.
Yeah,
But I think you did raise the bar a little bit on this one in terms of the complexity.
yeah, we did a little bit, but again, not too much. I still wanted to be listenable, but I still wanted to be respected amongst the hardcore metal fans.
Yeah, well,
I didn't
I
want to.
mean, I would say that's you definitely achieved that goal.
Well, cool,
Um,
cool.
Good.
there are some really great, and there I would not that I was surprised, but on a couple of the tracks there were some really nice harmonies going that I didn't anticipate. Um, so there were surprise and ending with Wicked Game was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that one.
I think it was a surprise for everybody, including my own band.
Gotcha.
That went right down to the wire.
Right. Well, it was a good, it on paper it doesn't seem like it's going to work because I just don't think of Chris Isaac as being covered by a metal band working, but you guys make it work.
That's exactly why we did it. I like to take tunes that aren't necessarily metal and then metal them up because I think
Sure.
it's cool as fuck.
The
Especially when you do good
challenge.
songs. And there's nothing wrong with Chris Isaac.
Oh
There's
no,
nothing
no.
wrong with a lot, I know your spectrum is wider, but I mean within the metal community that we deal with, that's kind of a no-no. You don't do shit like that because then you're going to get brandished by reviewers and people who are like, Chris Isaac, what the hell is this shit, you know? So it's a
We've
little
actually
tough.
we've gotten a little bit of that actually, where people
Yeah.
are like, well, it's really not you guys. It's like, okay, whatever, that's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought that it fit on the album. The way in which you sort of added your own flair to it, I thought was good. Um, and yeah, I mean, for people interested in sort of a more of a melodic symphonic type of sound, that again, I would say, and I was telling this to Unknown before, I was having trouble finding a comparison. It
Good.
is, you guys have a unique sound.
That is very good to hear, and we take that as a compliment. That is the highest compliment you could give us because it's really hard to try to find a sound that has never been done before. And I'm not saying we're we're breaking any glass ceilings.
We're not
just
setting any new trends here.
not yet. It's just so hard to find something that hasn't been done. What hasn't been done?
Right.
What
Well, I
hasn't been
think
done?
the direction you guys chose to go in, I think fewer bands tend to go in that direction. Um,
Yeah,
with
they all want to be copycats.
yeah, or I mean, it's easy to
Mhm.
find the formula, and it's sort of easy to follow that. But I think it was interesting and it works. And I also have I mean, it reminds me sort of when I was working in musical theater a little bit, because there is that sort of there's the theatrical quality to some of the songs. I would think of like Phantom of the Opera or something.
Yeah, it's
But,
totally done on purpose. I love dramatic music.
well, I mean, you've definitely uh, achieved that goal, as I had said before. I mean, the album is great. It's called Dark for Life. It's been out for a few weeks. You can get it on any platform you want. You guys, I know, have a pretty big social media presence. So people interested in sort of expanding their horizons into more of a symphonic, melodic groove. But, again, I think the last time we talked, I said how all these descriptions exist so people have something to argue about.
Yes, you're
But
exactly right. And that's what we're getting in reviews is that people cannot place us. They can't say, well, we're this or we're that. Well, sometimes they're this and sometimes they're that. So we can't put a label on them. So, we're going to give them a lower score, which is fine. I don't give a shit. Everybody's got their own opinion. But that's cool with me.
well, unfortunately, sometimes the first people through the door, take the brunt of everything.
Hmm.
So, it may not be the sort of reviews you're looking for. What I enjoy about it is it's something that I can play for all of my friends, no matter what sort of music they enjoy, and that we'll all be able to find common ground.
Yeah, then
Um,
that was the goal. So thank you.
Yes.
which a lot of the time, being a fan of metal music, it's difficult to be able to suggest bands for everyone to listen to. So whenever I find one, I always make a note like, oh yeah, this one is one I can play for everyone. So
That's cool, man. Thank you.
yeah, well, I mean, are you guys able to, um, you know, practice or stay in touch with each other these days, or is it?
George,
'Cause
you
I
want to
think
take this? Because I think I've been
Oh.
talking your ear off.
Oh, you're a great talker. You don't need me. Actually, this past Friday we just got back together for the first time in other than studio in about a year, and we finally had a real practice, and it felt great.
Didn't
Yeah, 'cause-
sound great, but it was awesome.
It wasn't. Yeah,
It was
wasn't
a slop
actually.
fest.
We expected that, given how long it's been since we got together and played together. But it was still, it was very productive. Loads of fun. Working on new material for the third album already.
wow,
We're
okay.
excited.
That's. I mean, I think when we spoke in June, things were probably just getting to be bad, but people really didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know
Yeah.
you guys, I think, you were just pressing Haunted Symphony. So it was sort of a different time, but I'm glad you guys have gotten a chance to get back in the room together and begin to shake some of the rust off.
Yeah. So are we.
Yeah, there's a lot of rust. There's a lot of
So,
rust.
yeah.
I
Well, so
actually
you
blew
guys
out
are,
my voice last week. Still a little hoarse from it. I have no idea why. I'm just hoping it's from, rust.
It
yeah,
is. It's just an activity.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you'll get everything back in the swing of things. So you have new material you're working on for a third album as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try
it's
not
in the early stages, but yes, we do.
We're gonna try not to put any ballads on this one.
Uh, Nothing wrong with
Um,
slow songs.
No, not at all.
so is the goal going to be to try and sort of keep going in a different direction a little bit, like making it try new things, make it more complex, or is it sort of a continuation of what you've been doing
The
off of
goal
this?
is, yeah, the goal is going to be whatever we come up with,
Gotcha.
and we think sounds cool because we all have, even though we're all metalheads, we all come from different metal worlds,
Right.
and so we all have different influences, and it shows up in the writing, which is why it's a little hard to sort of pigeonhole our sound. You go, oh, I hear this influence, I hear that influence. It's like, well, yeah, that's because we have such a diverse, uh, set of influences.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think we spoke about that when we were talking about Haunted Symphony, because I
Mm-hmm.
remember because you play bass, and I remember the drummer and the guitarist, and all of you guys sort of had different things that you would try to incorporate,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's
Anything.
again, you make it work. That's the beauty of this. You would think sometimes it would be difficult to sort of be able to capitalize on everybody's background.
It is difficult. Trust me, it's very difficult
Oh
writing.
yeah. Well, this
It's
is
like,
one of those things where I don't, I as a writer, I spend most of the time developing things by myself.
yeah,
So I don't have to work with
yeah,
other
it definitely
people that
helps.
I forget how difficult it can be.
It's difficult. We razz each other, but
Yeah, we do.
we do. We give each other shit quite a bit, but but it's in good fun. It's nothing, you know, menacing or
We
it's
know
all
that
fun.
we know that we again have such variety in what we all come from that we don't, take offense or get mad at somebody else for their suggestions. It's very professional when we write, so to speak. It's always for the common goal of getting those songs done and getting them done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. It's interesting to hear sort of sometimes you have, when you have a couple of personalities all working, it can be more difficult than not, and people lose sight of the fact that you're all on the same team. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything like that. We all know we're on the same team. It's just, somebody will come up with something that I won't like, and then I'll come up with something that somebody else doesn't like, and we all kind of find common ground for the better of the whole, like
right.
you said.
Yeah, no, I just meant other bands may run into that problem. Um, but it sounds like you guys have a pretty good working relationship, and there's a sort of a general understanding of that there's going to be some razzing going on, and but at the end of the day, it's all about making the best song possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's great. So, obviously, I know you guys are probably waiting to see how things play out with quarantining and music coming back. But do you have any abstract ideas of what you'll be up to within the next few months?
Yeah, we'd like to start playing out again. um, we want to play out. We won't do it until we're exactly, we're tight again. We have merch coming out. Well, some of it has already come out. T-shirts in the work. We have bandanas, stickers. Obviously, the new album is out. Um, we would like to play festivals. We would like to play overseas. So that's what we're working on now. That's the main goal of everyone right now. Is I don't want
Yeah.
to play the bar scene too much because, especially locally, I don't. Where are you from?
Originally New York City.
And where do you live now?
I'm in South Carolina now at my folks' place, but I live in Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay, so the music
Ah,
scene around here is non-existent, and if you unless you're playing covers of AC/DC and Metallica songs all night, nobody gives a shit. So to have an original band like us around here, where you got five drunk guys at a bar screaming Leonard Skinner in your face the whole night,
Right.
that
yeah.
doesn't do us any good. So that's why we try to want to play the bigger shows and the bigger venues, and because I think it's I hate to say this because I'm going to sound snotty, but it's a waste of time. Why does me or anyone in my band want to lug all of our equipment around, set it up? It's an all day and all night thing, as you've played out, and it's a lot of work, and a lot of times you don't get paid for it, and I'm just I'm too old for that bullshit. So it's time
Yeah.
for bigger and better things.
Well, let me add to that too. We're also not a bar band.
Right.
When I used to play in those cover bands, and like you were saying earlier, you always have that imbecile yelling "Free Bird,"
Yeah.
and it's like you're just a live DJ, if you will. And there's a certain bunch of songs that those people want to hear. We're not that, so it doesn't make sense for us to go play in the standard bar setting. So metal festivals and similar shows are more where we should be,
Right.
not
Gotcha.
the bar.
Well, I can offer an opportunity. We live stream on the Facebook group that I administer. So if you guys are looking, to shake some rust or anything, and you ever want to do a live stream performance, we can at least give you a platform to use.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's always
So
cool. Let's set up, try
hmm
to do something. I don't know how we can get that to sound good. I'm sure you
yeah,
have
well, I mean, we've
ideas.
had you can if I'll let you know what the group is when we're
Okay.
done. If you want to check out the archive videos, there've been a lot of bands that have played. Um, it's just a way to sort of get back into the groove as you begin to look for opportunities.
That's great. That sounds awesome. I'd be into that.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I could see you guys being more of a festival band, or at least being on a large stage, not in the back of like McGillicuddy's pub, where where there's not that there's anything wrong with McGillicuddy's pub, but yeah, I don't see you guys screaming over drunk people
No.
who are clamoring for Paradise City.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Right,
We-
exactly.
But okay, so Haunted Symphony people can still get that. That's been out for about a year,
2 years probably
two
by
years
now, or
now.
close
Okay,
to it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Dark for Life's been out for a few weeks.
Yep.
The first is an EP. This is a full length,
Yep.
and you guys are looking to you're in the process of working on what will be the follow up album. So
Now there's a
and
song on there on the new album. It's called Geistertone. It's the first song on the album. And if any of your listeners can figure out what that is or what it means or what the song itself means, first person, nobody's figured it out yet. So first person that figures it out, let us know. Send me an email, send George an email, send a band, whatever. We'll get you a free t-shirt. Killer t-shirts too.
hmm
gotcha.
Timelesshaunt@gmail.com. You can reach us
Timeless
there.
Haunted Gmail. So everyone out there, if you can guess what the first track you said,
Geister
what
Tone.
Geistertone.
Geistertone. Okay, and my guess is that's probably not something you'll be able to Google immediately.
Not at all.
Nope.
So there you go. Okay, yeah, no,
Nope.
that'll be good. A little extra added incentive. And while you're doing that, you should also pick up both Haunted Symphony and Dark for Life because they're excellent
Because they
albums.
rock.
And you don't need to be a fan of a specific type of music in order to appreciate it. That's the best part. It's good jams that are really accessible.
Yes.
hmm
So but yeah, no, I'm glad. It's good to catch up with you guys, and I'm glad you're well.
Yeah, you
And
too, man.
Thank you.
No COVID here so far.
No,
good,
knock on wood.
good, yeah. And hopefully you guys, things will continue to adjust, and you'll be able to start playing again and continue to work on some new music.
You betcha. Hey, sorry about my outfit. I don't have my full my garb on. I just got done with my workout, so
It's all good.
I work out in a mask and everything.
That's the secret.
It is.
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with me. Any other things you wanted to put out there for people?
Don't do drugs.
Okay.
What are you,
do
Dwayne
drugs.
Stump? Dwayne
Pick
T.
up
Stump.
pick up some Timeless Haunt merch and some albums. I'll put this video on the Facebook group. I'll get you that info, and then I'll probably post this episode tomorrow on the podcast.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much.
Hey, I want to thank you and your group for continuously posting Timeless Haunt posts and sharing, and I really appreciate you guys doing
Yeah.
it. Really, really, really. Very
It's
much.
my pleasure.
I can't thank
Absolutely.
you enough. I always come across and it's like there's another post from you, and as you know, if I'm missing some and I forget to say thank you, just know that we all really appreciate
It's my
it.
pleasure. Happy to do
Absolutely.
it. And
Cool,
you
thank
guys
you.
continue to be well.
You too, man.
All right.
All
Take
righty.
care.
Thank you. Take care now.
care.
Bye.